Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I know once again it's been a little while since my last video, but the last few months have been really crazy. I'm a community project consultant. I work with a nonprofit. I also teach online, and I co-founded another nonprofit. I just have a lot of projects on the go, so I'm being a little bit kind to myself and just allowing myself to make videos organically when the inspiration hits. And so on that note today, I just wanted to have a really informal chat about something that has been on my mind for the past about month. Really for the past several years, but in the past month I've just been thinking about it like constantly, and it relates to the world of permaculture. So, as some of you may know, I am on the faculty of the Permaculture Women's Guild online PDC course. And these thoughts are stemming from some of the conversations that we've had amongst the teaching faculty. And then also a lot of it is just my own sort of musings. And yeah, recently I've just been really struggling to continue to align myself with permaculture. And I think this is because overall permaculture is something that doesn't have a single definition, and it's really something that even though it is based in these ethics of earth care, people care, and fair share, these terms are quite vague on their own and can be made more specific, and are made more specific in different ways by different people. And so there are people who do things that I would not ever call permaculture, who call themselves permaculturists. And what I'm speaking about specifically is that there is really a lot of like colonial tendencies within the world of permaculture that I think just stem from colonial tendencies in the world in general. Some of those things include, I guess you could call it like eco-colonization, going to like people from the global north or wealthier countries going to countries that are in the global south, or some call developing countries, and kind of like forcing projects that are not appropriate for those communities onto them. That's not to say that every person from the global north who does community work in the global south does that, but a lot of permaculturists, so-called permaculturists, do. And I think that with the recent events that some of you might know about, David Holmgren, one of the first people who coined the term permaculture back in the 60s, 70s, was marching under the banner of permaculture. That was a protest against COVID-19 measures. And I just think that what I call permaculture really isn't what a lot of people understand permaculture to be. And that's been really hurtful to me and really hard to grapple with. I think that the culture that we've cultivated with the Permaculture Women's Guild is amazing. And with my own nonprofit organization, Rhizome Eco-Social Education Society, that's close to my heart, and I align with it very closely. And it's just that it's become permaculture has become such a buzzword that it really is kind of like this tree that has all these different branches, and all of us who call ourselves permaculturists might be on a branch here or a branch over there, and we might actually be miles apart. And I just find that really difficult, especially someone living in a community where permaculture is not that well known. If you mention it to someone, or if they join a Facebook group thinking they know what it is, they might be assuming something completely different. And so I don't think I have an answer to this. I wonder if anybody else who is in the permaculture world experiences this. For me personally, I've found myself not using the term permaculture just because it's become so loaded. I've started using eco-social design or ecological design. or even sometimes sustainable design, although the word sustainable is also very loaded and very greenwashed. So sometimes I find myself not knowing which words to use, but definitely something that I've found grounding, that still grounds me and like brings me back to the concepts surrounding permaculture, is the design, you know, like that focus on conscious design and on like planning this path and project planning and all of the different tools, both traditional and modern, that are in this like common pool of knowledge that allow you to tackle pretty much any project through this, you know, beautiful path that weaves in yourself, your community, land, and all the different relationships enveloped in that. The different ways to do that are so attractive to me and keep bringing me back. And then all of the wonderful students that I get to work with as well, I really feel aligned with that. So that's something that's holding me there. There have been many times where I felt like just completely distancing myself from the world of permaculture and just not even like just completely like cold turkey, not aligning myself with that, not ever using that word. But the sort of bubbles of community that I do find myself aligned with, and the beautiful work of individuals and groups that keep inspiring me have definitely anchored me there. And I think if I want to build out what I think permaculture is, I think that's okay. And so there's a few different things that I've kind of solidified, at least for myself, which is the most important of which is that permaculture is an approach to design. It's not any specific technique or method. So for example, lasagna gardening, I wouldn't say that's permaculture in and of itself, or composting toilets, or swales, or, you know, planting on contour, or cob houses. I wouldn't say that any of those things in and of themselves are permaculture. I would say that designing a system which supports human and non-human life and integrates in a positive way within its community, whatever that community is defined as, would be called permaculture. And I think, especially living here on unceded Okanagan Syilx Nation territory in Canada, or Turtle Island, you know, decolonizing permaculture is something that's always on my mind, and it's definitely a tough and ongoing process, but I just keep reflecting on it and thinking about how important it is to acknowledge that, you know, when we're designing on stolen land, and what does that mean? And it's always a difficult conversation. And I think beyond acknowledging, it's also like taking the time to just reflect on what the history of this land is, and how can we move forward in a way that fosters reconciliation, even if we don't, you know, have like a specific path forward. Like constantly reflecting on it and practicing with humility, I think is something that is inspiring to me, and that I strive to do imperfectly, but I guess I just keep learning as I go. So yeah, those are the things that I've personally grounded myself in. But if anybody out there who is practicing permaculture, or once did, or is practicing something like permaculture and defines it as an approach to the design of systems that are healthy and sustainable, I wonder if you've had these same thoughts and what you've come up with, or your community has come up with. I would love to hear about it. So if you have any ideas or comments, feel free to comment below. I will definitely be reading all of those. And thank you if you got to the end of this video. I know it was kind of a long ramble. I just wanted to put it out there because even just talking about it helps me think about it and process all of this. So thank you, and I will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.